You're listening to the Movement is Medicine Show, a podcast hosted by Head to Toe Spine and Sports Therapy, a modern chiropractic and manual therapy practice in Edmonds, Washington. Now, let's get into the show. What's up, everybody, and welcome to the show. And today we are welcoming for the first time our new doc, James. What's up, my man?
What's going on, Barry?
How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on the podcast today.
Dude, we're so pumped. I got Dr. Annie here, too.
Yeah.
Dr. James in the house.
Dr. James is in the house.
I love it. This is a get to know you, James episode. And, I like to think of it a little bit like speed dating, and we're kind of just going to get to know you in the next 10, 15 minutes and understand kind of how you got to do what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where you start with where you're from. Where
I grew up in Yelm, Washington, so just like hour or so south, a little small town. And then after high school, went up to Seattle and went to school at the University of Washington. So go Dogs. I know there's probably some Cougs listening to this podcast, but it's all right. We can still be friends.
Absolutely. And in high school, were you a sports guy? Were you into did you do any kind of sports stuff?
Absolutely, yeah. I've been playing sports since I was like 4 years old. So whether it was on the wrestling mat, baseball field, football field, always active. So my first introduction really into chiropractic was in high school during wrestling season. Kind of had a separated rib. Went to a chiropractor. He did some magic on me, and I had a lot of questions right after that experience. How does everything work? How's everything connected? And that kind of really sparked my interest. And 10 years later, here I am, Dr. James, which has a nice ring to it. I like it.
That feels good, right?
Such a huge thing. I mean, congratulations.
Yeah.
I just, watching James go through this transition, right? It's been so huge. I think all of us kind of remembered that feeling, that transition from student to Dr. James Bradley, and the amount of work, sweat and tears that goes into becoming a doctor of chiropractic is no small feat. At all. So
immense amount of work.
Immense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's been
and big brains, right?
Big brains.
Big brains.
Lots of brains. Yeah. It's been a long 3 years. I was down in Portland at the University of Western States, and it's good to be back up north in the great state of Washington. So pretty much PNW, born and raised. Haven't gone too far outside of Washington, Oregon.
Yeah, he was going to say Portland's still, PNW all the way.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
I mean, a little a weirder version.
Yeah, I would say so.
A little weirder, yeah.
But I love
It's still
Portland.
a good time, though.
I haven't. When was the last time you were in Portland?
About probably 5 months ago after, or I guess that was before I started my internship here, so.
What did Portland kind of get very nutty? Because it had a lot of they were in the news quite a bit, but I didn't know how much.
It's been a weird year. I think all over the nation, especially Portland, Seattle.
Portland seemed extra wacky.
COVID, all the riots and everything. It made some national news.
Yeah, you were there during some of the rioting. Then
I was there. I went downtown. It was wild. I saw it firsthand.
Did you get maced?
I did not get maced.
Did you get shot with rubber bullets?
No.
Okay, to redirecting the show.
Did you get flashbanged? All right, so you had so let's go back to your high school experience. This was your first experience of chiropractic. Because here's what's interesting to me. So many of our chiropractic doctors have a sports type background, whether it was in high school or college. Mm-hmm. And what's interesting, that makes sense, right? Because that's where you tend to get injured more. Doing sports, physical activities, and then one of the ways that you get well is you go see a chiropractor, and those are formative years, and then you have this incredible experience. You're like, oh my God, what just happened to me? I was in incredible pain, couldn't move, couldn't do anything, and now I'm way better. It's like, how did that happen? This is awesome. And that leads a lot of people on the path then down kind of exploring kind of physicality and physical medicine and then chiropractic, right? So did you kind of then know that was your next step, or did you go then to kind of the UW and start getting into more did you go into sports science, or were you just doing general ed? What were you doing?
Yeah, absolutely. Chiropractic was always kind of in the background. It was always an idea that I wanted to pursue that. But yeah, first I went to the University of Washington, got my bachelor's of science in physiology. So definitely stuck to the
physical science,
physical
so
science,
to speak.
exactly. More on a molecular level, right? So what's going on inside the body. And then after that, I applied straight to the University of Western States. Took a couple years off of school just because I was pretty burnt out. And then after I deferred for 2 years, decided to go back, and it was time. And then I got, kind of that macro scale, seeing how everything works, just like, muscles and organs and the bones and all that jazz. So, and then while I was there, I also got my Master's of Science, my Master's of Science in Sports Medicine too. So then I got the sports aspect of it kind of at the same time.
I love it. 2 for 1.
Yeah, that's a great program that they added, I thought, to Western States, is that master's program in exercise science. Is that what it was? And
sports medicine.
Yeah, I think one of my very favorite doctors and my mentor was really a big part of kicking that program off. Dr. Kurtz, huge shout out to Dr. Kurtz.
Yes,
he was a big part of that program, and I do want to say too, besides all the big brain stuff, James has managed to come out of school with like really talented hands. He's worked on all of us. He's repaired me personally a few times. Amazingly, is when I blew my ribs out too. Just put them right back in for me. It felt awesome. So James has got good hands. In fact, I have a longtime patient who she's like, "When are you hiring James?" I'm like, "Well, he's an intern. Like, we haven't talked about anything." And he's like, "Well, I'd really like to see him like more than you." So shout out there. It's not everyone comes out of school with a good touch, and the ability to adjust, especially during COVID.
Yes, during COVID, that was an interesting time, especially in the the last like basically the last half of my experience at the University of Western States. It was everything kind of went into lockdown, and a lot of the schooling went online. But luckily, up to that point, I had a lot of those hands-on classes, so we were able to kind of like build that foundation, and then just having that knowledge and like knowing what feels like good on myself and like what I like, and then like being able to apply that to patients and like have that touch. So that really helped.
Yeah. Yeah,
Did
definitely.
you just have to like work intensely on like your pod of people in like your small circle and been like, they were just loving it. They were like, "This is the best thing ever." James is just always working on me.
We definitely traded some treatments. Just we didn't adjust though, because you're not allowed to do that.
Right. No adjusting. Nothing.
No, never. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Luckily for James and for us, we had a really nice, almost extended precept time together here, right? I mean, you were here for 4 months?
4 to 5 months.
Yeah.
And it usually it's around like 3 months. So
yeah,
because of COVID, they let a lot of students just go earlier if they had a place to go. I found Dr. Annie, and part of the reason that I came to this clinic was because Dr. Lee and Leah, they have those athletic trainers here. So that sports master's program tied in really nicely to the preceptor experience. So it just ended up just all falling into place really nicely.
Yeah. Did you want to look for a clinic that had that type of kind of a more full-featured set of modalities and treatment styles? I mean, because I think one of the things that's unique about Head to Toe is, there's so many different treatment types that we employ here and try to get results for people. It's not just it's not that narrow classic chiropractic only type approach. Although that gets kind of feathered into a variety of other approaches here. Was that kind of what you were looking for?
Absolutely. I think the fact that they have 4 doctors here that all kind of came from their own different background, that played a part. And the fact that there's 2 athletic trainers here who work with the rugby teams, that was also like a nice carrot on the stick for me to consider this clinic. And then each doctor's like own background. Lee has the applied kinesiology, which that was my first experience with chiropractic. So the muscle testing and how this all kind of plays into basically just like your overall well-being, and how when everything's working in concert together, you feel a lot better. And so each doctor's own unique skill sets brought me.
Yeah,
here.
that's a huge part of the draw, right? I mean, the team is a huge function. It's like who you're going to be spending tons of time with, and their energy, their personality, their skill set, knowledge, right? Being able to learn and grow with the team of people. that's one of the things that's really exciting, and a lot of ongoing education happens here. I mean, all
Yeah.
the doctors periodically are doing clinics for the other doctors and sharing and showcasing their specific specialties and their kind of knowledge areas. It's a really exciting place, I think, in that way for you to continue to grow and learn.
Yeah, and we're really always working on developing and bettering our skills here. Either within sharing our experiences or bringing in outside knowledge and sharing it and learning and growing and making it better and better for patients. Really every day. That's our focus. I think again, as you mentioned, like the uniqueness of having this team with different skills that we can refer within. I use it every day. Where I find something on a patient where I know. Maybe I have to send to Dr. Ashley for some of her neurodynamics. Maybe I have to send to Tim. Maybe I have to send to Lee. And now hopefully coming up James, right? So it's really unique and really special to be able to do that.
It is. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I'm pumped to have another player on the team who
Yeah.
can kind of continue to help us elevate and raise the game. Very exciting. Now, was there anything that lost out to so what lost out to chiropractic? Because I know when I was like going to school, I went University of Rochester on the East Coast, but there was like 3 or 4 things I was kind of looking at. I was like, maybe I'll be this, maybe I'll be that.
I would say, I mean, chiropractic's always been like in my back pocket. After school, when I graduated with that physiology degree, I didn't really have any direction of what I wanted to do. There's a couple lab positions. I working in a lab doing this and that, which doesn't sound too much fun. Again, I'm working with my hands, but pretty repetitive stuff. And I didn't, have that like experience in school to like really land me a job there. So I think it all worked out pretty well. I do play music, so I mean that's always kind of been a side gig as well. I play the drums, and that's always been a passion of mine. But there's not a lot of rock stars out there, so
few and far between those rock stars. I mean,
that's new information for me, James. I don't think that was on your resume.
No, it's not. I don't think you've seen my resume.
Did you play? Do you currently play? Like, do you play in a band? Are you like a solo drummer? Is it like classic drums, like we would think about in like a band, or is it more like, like circle drumming style drumming, or what kind of drumming?
I have like a nice DW kit. I played with my brother for since I was 10, so I like over 15 years. We've gone through a couple bands, and currently just working on like a new project right now.
Exciting, man. That's cool. So are we going to be able to follow along on like SoundCloud or something at some point to that?
Not today, but everything's in the work. I don't know if I'm able to divulge too much information.
Don't say too much, but when you're ready.
All right. This is exciting.
We'll maybe bring you on.
Yeah.
We'll just do a podcast about your music. That'd be exciting.
Yeah, we can get some like intro music, too.
You could get some new intro music for us. Yeah, that'd be sick. Okay. I love it. I love that idea. Okay, so besides chiropractic, you love music. Any other hobbies? Any other stuff here? I mean, you're like Pacific Northwest. It seems like you have to love nature here.
Absolutely. Big hiker, backpacker, camper. You got winter coming up, so love snow sports. I'm a big snowboarder as well, so I'll try to make it up to the mountain as much as I can. Just got to make sure I stay safe, because I do like to go big and send it a little bit. But now that I have, I got to take care of myself too. So
now you have a job. You can't just be out there sending it all the
Exactly.
time. You gotta be paying attention to things,
Yes.
right? Stow that GoPro, my friend.
Right.
Save that big gnarly hill for another day.
yeah, if I do get hurt though, I'm in the right place. So
That's true. And we can be looking forward to some great content for you on snow sports. So, one of the things, of course, that we love to do is we love to put out tons of educational content for our current patients and for future patients. And so one of the things that I always get excited about as we get into these fall times and then winter times is kicking out some great stuff for all of our winter sports people out there. So now we know who our new resource can be for our winter sports.
I think especially snowboarding. I mean, we've done some talk and some work on skiing before, because I'm a skier. But snowboarding is like a whole different beast.
they're completely different.
And
That's
the
so
injuries and
different.
challenges that you get, right? And how you can prep or whatever. And I think especially, we have such a variety of patients here. We have young patients, right? People in the high school and whatnot. And we have a lot of people kind of in their college age years, but we also have a ton of people who are now working professionals in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. And it's those people too who are out there snowboarding that, injuries happen a little bit easier. We know as we age, unfortunately. We've railed against the infirmities of age in the past, but that's where I think we can put out some good content for people.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, well, I'm just really excited you're here, James, and looking forward to working with you and having you part of the team. James is going to be live at the clinic coming up with our move. So after October 18th, James will be starting with us.
And
Can't wait. Just
book
can't wait to have him.
online like
Yeah.
normal. He'll be online.
Yeah.
This will be on the online piece. So if
Yeah.
you hear this and you're like very excited to kind of get the Dr. James treatment, then wait until the 18th and then book online.
Love it.
Love it. James, super pumped to have you here, man. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to get you on the next show. And until then, keep hitting those drums, man. We're pumped
Absolutely.
for the secret project. Thanks,
Intro.
everybody, for being here. Looking forward to seeing the new space. And come on in and meet Dr. James. He's incredible. My shoulder is actually hurt, and I'm going to try and make him work on it right now after this podcast. So next time I'll have my own personal testimony to give. 5-star review coming in. All right. Thanks, everyone. Talk to you later.
Thanks,
Bye.
Barry.